The crowd gathered beneath the bright afternoon sun, waiting for the ribbon-cutting ceremony to begin. Cameras flashed, reporters leaned forward, and hundreds of people watched as one of the country's youngest CEOs stood frozen on the stage. Her confident public image suddenly vanished as fear filled her eyes. Just when everyone wondered whether she would walk away, a black single father quietly stepped toward her, reached out with gentle kindness, and softly told her that if she was afraid, she could simply hold his hand. The unexpected moment left the audience speechless and changed both of their lives forever. Orion Tate had never imagined becoming a single father. 5 years earlier, he had lost his wife after a long battle with illness, leaving him to raise his lively 7-year-old daughter, Zara, alone. Every day began before sunrise. He packed lunches, tied tiny shoelaces, helped with school projects, and then spent long hours working as a structural engineer. Although exhaustion followed him everywhere, he never allowed his daughter to see his struggles. To Zara, her father was the strongest person in the world, even when he quietly carried heartbreak no one else could see. Across the city, Althea Monroe had built one of the fastest-growing environmental technology companies in the country. Newspapers praised her intelligence and determination, yet very few people knew the truth behind her reserved personality. Since childhood, severe social anxiety had made public appearances feel overwhelming. Years of preparation allowed her to hide those fears behind polished speeches and confident business decisions, but every major event demanded enormous emotional strength. Success had earned her admiration, but it had also surrounded her with expectations that often felt impossible to carry. One bright Saturday afternoon, Orion volunteered with his engineering team to help complete a new community learning center funded by Althea's company. Zara spent the day planting flowers alongside dozens of neighborhood children while volunteers prepared the final decorations. The grand opening was meant to celebrate hope, education, and opportunity for local families. As the ceremony began, unexpected technical failures disrupted the carefully planned event. Loud feedback echoed through the speakers, television cameras crowded the stage, and hundreds of curious faces turned toward Althea. The overwhelming attention caused her carefully controlled confidence to disappear. Her breathing became uneven, and she stood completely still, unable to take another step. Many people assumed she was simply nervous, but Orion recognized something deeper. Years of comforting his daughter through childhood fears had taught him that sometimes people needed quiet reassurance instead of public encouragement. Without drawing attention to himself, he calmly approached the stage while volunteers hurried around trying to fix the equipment. Standing close enough that only she could hear him, Orion gently reminded her that courage did not mean facing fear alone. If holding someone's hand for just a moment helped her take the next step, there was nothing weak about accepting kindness. His calm presence carried no judgment, no pressure, and no expectation of recognition. For several silent seconds, Althea looked at him with uncertain eyes. Then, with remarkable trust, she accepted the offered hand. The simple gesture steadied her breathing. Together they walked the final few steps toward the microphone. By the time the audience applauded, very few people understood what had truly happened. They believed they had witnessed confidence. In reality, they had witnessed compassion. The ceremony continued successfully, and the Learning Center officially opened its doors to the community. Children filled the classrooms with laughter while families explored the beautiful building. Zara proudly showed Althea the flowers she had planted near the entrance, and the shy CEO smiled more naturally than anyone had seen all afternoon. For the first time in years, she felt appreciated not because of her accomplishments, but because someone had quietly cared about her well-being. Over the following months, Orion continued volunteering at the Learning Center on weekends with Zara. The center quickly became a place where local children received tutoring, creative workshops, and mentorship. Althea visited often, choosing to spend time with families instead of hiding inside executive boardrooms. Away from business meetings and flashing cameras, her genuine personality slowly emerged. Their friendship developed through ordinary daytime moments. They organized science fairs, planted community gardens, painted classrooms, and read books to eager children during summer programs. Zara adored Althea, often reminding her that brave people were not those who never felt afraid, but those who kept showing up despite their fears. The little girl's innocent wisdom touched both adults in ways neither expected. As trust grew, Orion discovered that Althea had spent years believing vulnerability made people lose respect. Every mistake, every anxious moment, and every personal struggle had been hidden behind endless work. Orion shared how becoming a widowed father had taught him the opposite lesson. Real strength came from allowing others to help when life became too heavy to carry alone. Inspired by Orion's quiet resilience, Althea introduced mental health support programs throughout her company. Employees received flexible schedules, counseling resources, and wellness initiatives that transformed the workplace into a more compassionate environment. Productivity improved, but more importantly, people felt valued as human beings rather than simply workers. Nearly a year after the opening ceremony, another community celebration filled the learning center with families, teachers, and volunteers. This time, Althea confidently stepped onto the outdoor stage beneath a bright blue sky. Although she still felt nervous, she no longer believed fear defined her. Looking toward the front row, she spotted Orion and Zara smiling proudly beside the flower garden they had planted together months earlier. As warm afternoon sunlight covered the crowd, she realized that the strongest foundation in life was not built from concrete or steel. It was built through trust, compassion, and people willing to reach out a hand when someone else felt unable to stand alone. Orion had not rescued her that day. He had simply reminded her that even the strongest hearts sometimes needed support. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a heartfelt comment below, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to Heartwarming Tales so together we can continue spreading stories of hope, courage, and kindness. Special request: comment, "A kind hand can change a life." Red heart, if you believe one simple act of compassion can give someone the courage to keep moving forward. As the celebration ended and children laughed beneath the warm afternoon sun, Orion watched Zara run through the gardens while Althea joined the families she had once been too frightened to face. Neither of them had expected their lives to change that ordinary day. Yet one gentle moment of understanding had transformed loneliness into friendship, fear into confidence, and strangers into people who would forever remind each other that the strongest hands are often the ones extended with kindness, asking for nothing in return except the chance to help someone take one more brave step forward.